I am here. Thanks, Brandon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I did start. Thanks for chiming in. I forgot to hit. I don't use this every week, and so sometimes I forget to hit my little video. So it says it was live, but I wasn't on there. Brandon, can you hear me? What I'm talking about, guys, is February. It's almost here, and it is the month of love, as we know. And we already have almost completed 1 month of our first year. And a lot of us set goals and we already have fallen off of them. And then we're hard on ourselves. We don't feel good about it or ourselves or the situation. So I want to turn that around for February for all of you and to start to think about, where do you set your goals from? That's the most important key to notice, because where you set them from shows whether you are going to actually fulfill your goal. Typically, when we set plans and goals, they're driven by a little part of our brain. Thanks, Brandon. A little part of our brain called the amygdala, aka ego, and it's a storyteller. That little ego of ours tells us stories of, we're not enough, we don't have enough, that can't happen, you better do this or else, or blah, 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 blah. And we have about 70,000 thoughts that come into our mind. And guess what, guys? 5% of our day, so 95% of the time, we are unaware, we are unconscious, and only 5% of the time are we aware. So unconsciously, when we get these download thoughts that just bounce in our head, they're safety thoughts. They're not growth thoughts. They're not heart thoughts. They're fear-based, keep yourself in a box thoughts. And we have developed a belief around them, and we develop feelings around our thoughts. So when we have a thought, we have a feeling reaction to it, and then that feeling gets bigger, and then it feeds the thought, and the thought gets bigger, and then the feeling gets bigger, and then the thought gets bigger. It's called cognitive looping. And then we create unconsciously an action around our thinker and our feeling. So I want for you to notice, dear ones, a result you want changed in your life, that you want a stretch, you want more joy, you want more peace, you want to be more connected to your dear ones, you want greater revenue, you want to have more rest and time off, you want to have more fun. Pick something that you want different. Right now, right here, right now, what would you want different just for today? And notice without judgment, right? You want to notice, oh, yeah, I keep doing the same pattern. I can't seem to break through. Well, that's the ego. It tells you you can't do something. But I want you to know all things are possible. You can do whatever you want and create whatever you want in your life by what you think and what you believe. So if you were to believe that you can create a most amazing relationship with your spouse or your friend or your child, if it's possible, and that you're just on a learning, you're just like all of us, you're just learning, and it's just an experiment to step into who you're called to be and who you want to show up to be and how you want to relate to others. Could that be true? Could that just be a learning versus a right or a wrong? Because our brain is looking at right or wrong, but you are not your thoughts. You are bigger than your thoughts. So I want you for February to dream big with your heart. What is it that you most want to create personally, professionally, financially? What impact do you want to bring the world? What excites you? You see, because we haven't been told to listen to our heart. We've been told to listen to our IQ since we went to school, right, guys? No one asks us, what do we want? What do we want to dream about? Usually people are like, this is what you have to do. And in your head, you had to figure out how to do it. And you stuck yourself right into your head. I'm asking you the opposite. I want you to listen to your heart. And I want you just for the month of February to experiment with yourself. I want you to dream big with your heart and make a decision from your heart space. Your brain is going to always tell you it's going to conflict. We call this dissonance. If you know music, there's dissonance. That's that scary music that you hear and the horror stories. That's what dissonance is like. That's what causes stress in our body. We create dissonance inside of ourselves. Our heart has a desire. Our heart wants to expand. Our heart wants to grow. It wants to have peace and love and joy. That's the very opposite of our brain when our ego, our thought process is running us. So what do we do with that dissonance? What do we do with that? So I want to teach you something. When you notice you've got this stress that you've created inside of yourself, say, oh my goodness, this is normal. This is how I'm wired. This is how my brain wants to keep me safe. And I'm not my thoughts. I'm going to go beyond my thoughts. And I'm going to stretch into my heart and what my heart wants. Well, when you do that, know that it's going to be scary. Accept that fear because it's new. Newness always scares us. And the ego is scared because it wants to know. And when it knows, then it's safe. So you tell yourself, your ego, your fearful mind, it's okay. I'm going to step anyway. And you're going to give yourself some love with the fear. You're going to give yourself some compassion and kindness as you step into a new space. So you're coupling love and fear together. You're meeting the fear with love. That's your responsibility to yourself. That's being radically loving to you, is to take the stretch. We will not grow. Guys, we're either growing and expanding and loving more, or we're dying because of fear. Fear and love are the opposite. And it's the decision of which one am I going to have run my life, run my leadership, run my person, my relationships. You guys get to choose, right? It's catching that 95% of the time the ego, the fear is driving. That's the work of the master. That's the work of the conscious master, is to notice that the ego is driving and to take 3 deep breaths. Because when the ego's driving, adrenaline starts to get created and cortisol starts running in our body. Our muscles lock down and we don't even fully breathe. And when we don't fully breathe, what happens is that we don't think straight and we don't think of many options. We usually think of only 1 or 2 options. So when you notice you've got this dissonance in your body, take 3 deep belly breaths, way deep down from your belly. Let's do it now. Breathing in. Filling up through your chest, through your nose. And when you reach capacity, hold for 2. And then release through your mouth a little more slowly than your inhale. And let's do that again. Breathing in from your belly. Hold for 2. And releasing out. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in from your belly. Holding for 2. And releasing all the way out. How does that feel? How does that feel just to take a pause, to breathe, to fully oxygenate your body and your brain? I would love for you to practice that at least 3 times a day when you're not triggered, when you don't have fear, anger, sadness running through you, so that when you notice you're getting amped up by your adrenaline, when you notice you're triggered, you can come back to your breath. Because when we want to create a new space for ourselves that's creative and joyful, it allows us to step in with clarity and confidence when we have our breath behind us. And our breath is our gift. Our breath is our life giver. But we usually only breathe from our chest up to the top of our head. Perfect, Brandon, you're relaxing. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so from this space of relaxing, I want you to think about February. In this space, notice that you're safe and notice that you have what you need just right here, right now. Because the mind wants to go to the future and it can't know the future, so it flips us out. Or it goes to the past and then we ruminate and we get stuck on sadness or frustration. So staying with your breath is present. It's a state of relaxing, and it's the only place that we can create curious ideas, creative ideas. So from this place, ask yourself, what does my heart most want for February? What is the most loving thing to me? Who do I want to become? What do I most want to do? That feels expansive in my heart. Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to connect with? I'd love for you to pick 3 things down for the month and write it down for February. And then what I would love for you to do is to notice your calendar that you already have scheduled for February. I know you guys have already scheduled February. Without judgment, because the ego wants to be hard on you and judge you, would you open your calendar and look? What's on my calendar? What have I put on there? A lot of busyness, a lot of shoulds and have tos that you got to fulfill. And yes, of course, we need to do things, but it's from a place of where am I doing my work from? Am I doing it from fear and adrenaline and an unconscious state? Or am I doing it from a space of relaxation, presentness? Is that a word? Being present, thoughtfulness, mindfulness, my whole self is my whole self here in my decision making and in my fulfilling of my decisions. And I want you to take off of your calendar before February starts, take off of your calendar where you don't have a whole yes, where you're shoulding on yourself. I should do this so that someone's not upset with me. I should do this because I need to have more money. You know how that feels, your drive, right? Of course you want to do something to get more money, but we want to notice where am I being motivated from? Is it love or is it fear? Take it off your calendar if it's not a whole yes. And if you're too afraid to do that, that's okay. Give yourself some love and maybe take off a few things and say, no, I don't have a yes to this, but maybe this is for so-and-so to do. Maybe they would like to do it if it's a job that you have and you're on a team or you're a leader, and maybe someone else would love to do it. It's their cup of tea. It's what drives their mojo. Or maybe it's something that you don't do at all. And maybe just for February, you don't do those things and you revisit in March. And notice what you take off by the end of February, what you take off your calendar for February. What did it provide you giving space by not doing those things? And I mean little things like things you don't think about. Oh, I need to go run to the grocery, or I need to pick up so-and-so. We do this out of saying yes many times because of fear, and we don't check in. And I put my dear people on a no diet, meaning for the month of February, I'd love for you practicing saying no to yourself, no to your family, no to your friends, and let them know that you're wanting to understand your whole yes to living life and the decisions you make. And you're just practicing saying no. It might be a temporary no. It might be no, not just now, or no, I'll get back to you. Give me some time to feel into this and think about it. I'll get back to you at the end of the week or the end of the day. Give yourself space, because we're so used to saying yes, 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 that again, the adrenaline, the temporary hit of saying yes is not sustainable. It drives our energy down. And then we aren't clear to do the things we do most want to do. So would you give yourself a pause and say no for now? Take 3 deep breaths, listen to your heart. And the other part of you is your intuition, which lives in your gut, which lives in your body. You guys know when you don't have a whole yes and you do it anyway, and it doesn't feel very good, right? You know that feeling when you just push through. Does anyone have that thought? Couple that with when you have a whole yes and you're excited and your whole body wants to move forward. Head, heart, and gut, 3 learning centers that you have, 3 amazing gifts of wisdom, your head, your heart, and your body. When you have a whole yes, this is the only way you have a healthy body. You have a healthy relationship, first and foremost, to yourself. And we call this radical responsibility to you first, so that you can serve others with love and kindness. If you're not giving yourself the space of radical responsibility every day, every moment, you're depleting yourself and you're not showing up for yourself or those that you want to love and serve in this world, right? It's kind of like put the mask on first when you're in the airplane. They teach you, right? Put your mask on first so you can put the mask on your child. This is what I'm talking about, guys. 3 lanes in the world. Your lane, God's, your lane, my lane, your lane, God, the universe's lane. Your lane, you are responsible for how you want to show up and be. Holding a space for others to decide how they want to be. We can't control or change someone's thoughts or feelings, but many times we get scared and we want someone to feel different, so we try and fix it, and we can't. It's not our lane, so that exhausts us. So allow someone to just be in their lane and have their experience and love them no matter what. And then the third is to allow a loving God universe to care for you and the world, and to trust that there is a loving God. I'm going to botch this, but there is a beautiful quote, and I posted it somewhere on LinkedIn, that's Einstein said. And he said, the most important thing that you can decide in your life is whether are you going to be in a world, in a universe that you believe is loving and kind, or are you going to walk around in this world thinking that it's against you, right? So I want you guys to be really conscious of your 70,000 thoughts that come into you every day, and which ones you've unconsciously attached to and believe. And if you don't have peace and joy, I want you to question, what am I believing? What am I automatically believing over and over and over again that's creating my emotions, that's creating my behaviors that no longer serve me well? And would you be willing just for February to let that thought go that's not serving you and replace it with a new thought? This is the gift of neuroplasticity. Our brains are amazing. We can rewire our automatic thinking, but we have to be awake and aware. So one of those thoughts could be, I know many of you think I'm not enough and I don't have enough. So I got to keep running. I got to keep running. I got to keep running. I would love for you to tell yourself, even if you don't feel it and you don't believe it because you haven't chosen that yet, doesn't mean you can't, is to say, I am enough and I have enough right here, right now. I would love for you to speak it out loud over and over and over again until you start to believe it. And then I want you to notice the emotions that start to come into your body and the behaviors that start to follow once you start to say it. I even have mine that I wrote, and I keep it everywhere. I have it in my bathroom. I have it here. And this is, I expand in success and love and abundance every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. I'm expanding in this belief, in this feeling, and in this behavior. So I want you to grow your love first and foremost to yourself for February by what you're telling yourself, by the decisions that you're making, and knowing that the results you get are not wrong or right. They're just a result of you believing an automatic thought, and it's your opportunity to choose a different thought to get a different result. That's all it is, guys. We're all in a learning. That's all it is. We're just learning about ourselves and learning about each other and learning about the world. And how can it just be a learning instead of a right or a wrong? How can you just be learning about who you are created like no one else in the whole world to live at such a time as this? You're an amazing being. And I want you to believe that. I want you to test it out. I want you to expand yourself because the world needs you. I need you. We need you. We can do this together, expand in love together, and practice together. We can go further together than we can alone. So reach out to me. Let me know how this lands for you, what you want to try for February. And coming up in April, I'm going to be doing a 90-day goal setting. I started it in January. I've got several people doing this with me. We're planning purpose-filled goals, and we're learning how we unconsciously don't fulfill our goals and how to rewire from meaningless tasks to purpose-filled goals every day so that we live a purpose-filled life, right? Because our decision making, which we make all the time, how many decisions do you think you make in a day? Countless, right? Our decision making is typically not meaningful. It's meaningless. So I want you guys to live purpose-filled lives and days by starting with purpose-filled goals. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, that's going to start at the beginning of April. Reach out to me about that because we can talk about that. It's a practice. It's pretty much group coaching twice a month for 3 months around your goals and how you can learn around your unconsciousness to create conscious, purposeful goals. And also, I'm going to be offering on Thursdays love conversations about how to be kind to yourself, how to love yourself more, how to expand in your heart space, how to make creative decisions from your heart. We're going to be working on that. I'm going to be doing some live conversations. My assistant told me, is it going to be on Facebook or is it going to be on LinkedIn? I don't remember, but reach out to me. I think on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, if we're not connected, connect with me there too. You guys are awesome. Reach out to me. I want you to live the life you're called to live your genius, to live your purpose. This is my goal. This is my purpose. This is why my life was saved. If you don't know my story, I almost died winning, achieving, no matter what I did in my life as a young one, first chair violinist, best academics, track runner, sprinter, became a top salesperson selling mainframe computers, started businesses, was all over social media in the United States for like achieving blah, 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 blah stuff. And then I decided to race my bike at age 42, was number 2 out of 998 women. And that push, the anxiety inside of me to push, to win. I got a temporary hit when I was winning, but it was never enough because I had to keep reaching for the next thing and the next thing. And that's why we have the Great Resignation, because people are tired of pushing and they're tired of working and they're tired of not being fulfilled. And there's another way. I had an accident coming up on 9 years ago, guys. June will be 9 years. That my striving and winning, I almost died in a bike race. My skull was cracked open. My brain bounced from the back of my head to the front of my head. I started convulsing. I shattered 9 ribs, punctured my lungs, separated my shoulder. I was not supposed to live. I was placed in a coma, and I was given my life back, guys. I was given my life back. And I said to God, when I was out of my coma and lying in bed, when I got home out of the hospital, I was there for a month, and I had to learn to walk, talk, cut my food again, just like a little one, just like a child. I said to God, my life was given back to me for a reason. And sure as all heck, it's not for winning and getting, you know what, stuff done. What is it? Why am I here? Why am I here? And when I was finally able to get back on my bike again and drive my dear children to the train in Chicago, and we lived in a very wealthy town. And I tell you that because these beautiful people in that town don't need anything. They were getting on the train. And my little girl was 11, guys, and she sees everyone getting on the train dressed beautifully. We're pulling away from the train, and she sees her brother getting on the train to go to school in Chicago. And she says, Mama, why does everyone look so unhappy getting on the train, going to work? My heart burst. I said, I know, honey, I know. I dropped her off at school. I went home to get on my bike. Now, this is only 8 months after my accident, guys. I wasn't supposed to be able to do that, but I already told myself, I forgot to tell you this. I already knew that what I think is how I feel, is what I create. My reality is what I think and believe. And it's the same for you, but you guys got to know what you're telling yourself. So 8 months later, I'm back on my bike, and I'm just about to go over the same railroad tracks where my daughter just said this comment about these beautiful people getting on the train. And I heard my purpose. And my purpose, this is what I heard. Thank God I almost died doing something I love doing. And I was awesome at it. These dear precious people are dying a slow death every day doing something they don't most want to do. I'm here to wake them the hell up to who they're called to be. And I'm going straight to the top because I believe the ones who have the most suffer the most. Because just like me, I thought the answers were outside of me. But you are the answer, dear ones. You have everything you need. It's time to listen to your heart. Listen to your soul, listen to your spirit, and trust, and take a step forward. And let February be that one step forward that's going to fulfill your heart. I want you to live from your heart. I want you to live from your heart because you deserve that. You are like no other. I'm going to say it again. Only you can live your life. Only you can fulfill the body you were given. Only you can be here to make a difference in the world. And the world needs you to be you because everyone else is trying to be something else. And that's why we're suffering, why we have heart attacks, why we have depression, why we have suicides. Because we're trying to be something for someone else or something else. But you're called to be you. And that's the gift. That's the gift to me in the world, is to be the gift you are. So if anything, dear ones, please listen to you, trust you. You are the answer. Sending you all love. Reach out to me. Thanks for being here. You're amazing, amazing. Let's do this together. Okay, guys. Bye.